Hello and welcome to Wisdom Trek. This is Guthrie Chamberlain and I'm your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 7-day-a-week, 7 Minutes of Wisdom podcast. This is day 225 of our trek, and for the next 2 days we will remain at camp as we search for the nuggets of wisdom found in the book of Proverbs, chapter 9. Yesterday we explored chapter 9 verses 1 through 6 as King Solomon is presenting the closing arguments for the woman Wisdom in her court hearing before the city gates. Wisdom's integrity has been validated by her hard work and hospitality. Since each day's trek does build on the previous one, if you do miss any of the Wisdom Trek episodes, please go to wisdom-trek.com to listen to them and to read the daily journal. We are recording our podcast from our studios at Home 2 in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm sure that I'm not alone in feeling a bit overwhelmed at times with the amount of responsibilities and obligations that we do have in our lives. This week is one of those times. There is a considerable amount of client work that needs to be completed before leaving for Mesa, Arizona on Thursday, but I guess I'll just have to take some of my own medicine and eat this elephant one bite at a time. I did make good progress on our review and edit of your life plan blueprint on our way to and from the Biltmore Mansion on Sunday. We will continue steadfastly on this project as time permits. Hopefully on our travels this week it will allow some editing time for this project. But for now we will need to travel back in time for a couple more days as we complete our investigation of Proverbs chapter 9. Let us visualize ourselves once again outside the city gates of Jerusalem. King Solomon is about to start day 2 of his closing arguments for the hearing that was called by the lawyer Wisdom. This will be the last part of this section called Wisdom Calls for a Hearing. Solomon will compare and contrast those who reject and those who accept Wisdom's case, as we read in chapter 9 verses 7 through 9. Anyone who rebukes a mocker will get an insult. Anyone who corrects the wicked will get hurt. So don't bother correcting mockers, they will only hate you. But correct the wise, and they will love you. Instruct the wise, and they will be even wiser. Teach the righteous, and they will learn even more. In verse 7, Solomon calls the foolish person a mocker. They mock others, and they also mock God. They will never listen to you. They refuse to follow advice. They refuse all correction. They have rejected wisdom's pleading and have chosen the path of foolishness. The first part of verse 8 takes us one step further, telling us that the mocker will hate those who attempt to correct them. This is contrasted by the wise person or someone who is seeking wisdom. A wise person learns from those who gently shows them their errors. If you love a person who is willing to correct you out of their love for you, then you are really wise. Verse 9 tells us that you will know if somebody is wise and living right because they will take the correction and instruction of others and become wiser and more knowledgeable. Solomon concludes his closing arguments in verses 10 through 12 by stating where wisdom truly comes from and the benefits of obtaining wisdom. Fear of the Lord is the foundation of wisdom. Knowledge of the Holy One results in good judgment. Wisdom will multiply your days and add years to your life. If you become wise, you will be the one who benefits. If you scorn wisdom, you will be the one who suffer. So we see here in verse 10, it shows us clearly that any strong building or a strong life will have a strong foundation. Respect for God and His holiness is the very foundation for all wisdom. We cannot have true wisdom in our lives without knowing and respecting God. The acknowledgement of this shows that we do have good judgment. God must be first in our lives. God must be more important than our businesses. God must be more important than our friends. God even must be more important than our families. Christ answered this question of the religious leader of his day, which will make our priorities clear, which is Matthew chapter 22, verses 36 through 38. Teacher, which one is the most important commandment of the law of Moses? Jesus replied, You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. As we move on to verses 11 and 12, in Solomon's final statements of the closing arguments for wisdom's hearing, he shares these additional benefits. Like a tender mother, wisdom will protect us like her child. She will keep us from harm. She will correct and disciple us when we need it. Because of the care that she has for us, we will be less likely to make stupid decisions in our lives. This will multiply our days and add years to our lives. If we choose to follow wisdom, we will be the one who benefits, but if we choose not to follow wisdom, we will be the one who suffers. The choice is ours. Solomon has concluded his closing arguments in this final speech presented by Wisdom in the book of Proverbs. The third great poem of Solomon is now approaching its end. Have you been convinced of the hearing and testimony of the lawyer Wisdom? Are you ready to accept her arguments and choose wisdom? And just when we thought the hearing would be over, Wisdom's adversary Folly shouts from her home built high on the city wall to those that are sitting at the city gates. She does not want to miss her opportunity to present her case to the judges and elders gathered there. The second woman is also shouting out. She also has an invitation. She too offers a meal. If you are simple, you might just confuse this other woman with wisdom. If you are simple, you might make a terrible mistake. We will finish Proverbs chapter 9 tomorrow as Folly calls for her hearing. So encourage your friends and family to join us and then come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. That will finish our podcast for today. As you enjoy these daily doses of wisdom, I encourage you to help us promote Wisdom Trek in the following 4 ways. First, leave us feedback about the podcast at wisdom-trek.com so that we can continually improve. Second, on your smartphone, subscribe at iTunes, Google Play, Spreaker, SoundCloud, or Stitcher so that the podcast will be downloaded to you automatically each day. Third, on your computer, or if you have an iPhone or iPad, leave us a rating and review at iTunes. This will help to promote Wisdom Trek so that others will find us and come along with us each day. And fourth, most importantly, please share Wisdom Trek with your family and friends through email, Facebook, Twitter, or in person so that they can come along with us each day. The journal for today's trek can be found at wisdom-trek.com. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, my friend, as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal each day. As we take this trek together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. This is Guthrie Chamberlain reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.